Hi boys and girls, and welcome to Mr. Wilson Teaches Little Warriors Edition. Today we're going to learn a really fun project about animals under the sea. The finished one looks like this, so you can see I've got multiple fish, jellyfish, as well as a turtle with some seaweed and some waves. And to do this we're going to practice using our shapes. I'm going to take you through step by step on how to create it. The only thing you need to get before you start is a piece of paper, a pencil, and some sort of coloring utensil, either crayons, markers, or colored pencils to create the piece. I can't wait to see what you came up with. Okay, boys and girls, so today we're going to work on our shapes, and we're going to show all the different shapes that we know how to make by creating an under the sea picture. So there's lots of things that you can find under the sea, and we'll talk about them as we go, but remember, you can draw whatever you want, just as long as you're using your shapes. So the things that you're going to have is a piece of paper, and you're going to need a box of crayons. So I've got a box of 24 different crayons, and I'm going to show you all the different colors I have, and you can use whatever colors you want when you create your own, or you can copy me if you want. So we're going to start by drawing a couple things that I know all of you know are under the sea. And the first one we're going to do is a fish. So the color that I'm choosing for my fish is the orange. I'm going to pick up my orange first, and then I'm going to draw in a big fish right in the middle of my paper because that's going to be the star of the whole piece. So to create a fish, the first shape I'm going to make is an oval. So an oval is really similar to a circle, which I know you've learned in class. It's just a little longer. So I'm going to start by drawing in my oval, which is going to take up a big chunk of the paper, and then next to that I'm going to draw a triangle. So the triangle is going to come off of the end. I'm going to close it out, and then once you get those shapes in place you get to color it in. I'm going to color mine in with orange, and remember we try to stay in the lines as best as we can, and we try to also get rid of all the white on the paper. So you want it to look like this. See how it's covering all the paper? If it looks like this, that means that we didn't spend our time, and we need to make sure that we always put a lot of time and care in all the art that we make because we want people to really like it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to color and make sure all the paper's gone. And I'm going to color the tail the same color because this is all one fish. And I'm going to make sure I take my time so it looks really good. Alright, next we're going to put an eye on our fish. So for the eye I'm going to choose the color black. So when you make your eye we're going to put it right on the top of the oval. So it looks like he's facing the side and we get to see one of the eyes. Now if you want to make this eye even better you can also put a line around the circle. So making a circle over the circle, and it's going to look like he's got a big eye. So a lot of fishes have big eyes, so that's something that's fun to add. We also want to add an expression, so I want my fish to look happy. So I'm going to take my line and right below the circles, I'm going to create a smiley face so that everyone knows that my fish in the sea is going to be a happy one. Now some of you I know are a little more advanced, so you can even add on other shapes, like another triangle on the top and the bottom, and it's going to look like the fish has more fins that's going to help it swim through the ocean. And we also know from our science studies that fish need to breathe too, so we're going to add gills, and for gills we have to practice our curved line. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 curved line. And that's how the fish is going to get its oxygen in the water. So there's fish number 1. But what fish wants to swim alone? So I think we should draw another fish. Maybe we'll make a different size. So for the next one, I'm going to pick my favorite color. My favorite color is red. So I'm going to look for my red crayon. And I'm going to draw another shape. So let's remember what we already drew. We drew a what? An oval. Yep. And we drew a triangle. And then what did we do after that? We colored it in, right. We're going to color it in. And it looks like I didn't get all the lines, so I got to make sure I really color it in and take my time because I want to be able to show this off and hang it up when I'm done. So I colored in my fish, and then I'm going to add my eye. So how did we do an eye? We did a little dot, right? And a circle around it. And then if we want our fish to be happy, we do a little curved line. And remember, we want our fish to be able to breathe, so we're going to put on 3 lines for the gill. And I'm going to make one more fish. This time I'm going to pick a blue. So for this, I'm going to make another fish. Let's have this one swimming up top. So I've got my oval, triangle. I'm going to start to color in. And remember, you can add on other triangles if you want it to have another fin. And then I add on my circles for the eye, smiley face, and my 3 curved lines. Alright, so there's our fish who are having fun. And they're hanging out in the water. But how do we know it's water? What else can be down there? So we need to draw some other things to let our audience know that we're under the water. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to practice another shape that we're learning, and that's our curved lines, so it looks like they're under the water. So to do this, you're going to do a curved line, and a curved line, and a curved line. And we're going to keep doing curved lines all the way across the page, so everyone knows that these fish are under the water. So now we've got our waves on top, and we've got our fish underneath it. Something else that we find in the water a lot is seaweed. So seaweed is going to be our curved lines from the bottom of the paper. So I'm picking green. You can do whatever color you want for the seaweed. And we're going to start on the bottom, and then we have to make our curved line. So remember, when we make a curved line, you've got to go back and forth and back and forth. And back and forth and back and forth. And you're going to make a curly line that goes all the way to the bottom. So nice back and forth and back and forth. Look how slow I'm going. I'm really taking my time, and I'm making sure that it looks really good. So I don't want to just scribble a bunch of green because I want people to know that it's the seaweed that's coming up from the water. So there's all my curved lines of my seaweed. And if you want, you can also make it a little thicker. So sometimes seaweed will be a little bigger than just a line. So I'm going to make some of these a little bit bigger so you can see that they take up more space. So especially those of you in 2nd grade, we know that things need more than just a line, don't we? We're going to go through and make it a little bigger. Alright, next we're going to work on our circles. So we've already made an oval, we've made a triangle, we've made curved lines, we've made wavy lines, and I know we practiced our circle when we made the eyes, so this should be an easy one. So I'm going to get a blue. This one is a teal blue or a blue-green. And I'm going to make some bubbles because the fish has the oxygen that it takes in and breathes out. So we're going to put some bubbles that are floating up from the mouth and all the way to the surface of the water, so that people know our fish are nice and healthy and can breathe. So there's some bubbles coming up, and that's how we practice our circles. I also sometimes put a curved line on the bubble, and that helps them make them look 3D. Okay, next we're going to have some fun. So we've been practicing really hard on making all these shapes look perfect. But what if we want to do some shapes that are a little crazier? So I'm going to make a jellyfish. I'm going to start with my purple, and I'm going to make a jellyfish by starting to just make sort of a blob like this. So with jellyfish, they don't have to be a perfect shape. So some of you who don't like to do perfect shapes, this one's going to be fun for you because you get to have a little more freedom in what it looks like. Then I'm going to color in the top. So I've got a fun shape here, and then I'm going to practice my wavy line again. I'm going to make some lines going down, and those are the tentacles of the jellyfish. Now jellyfish, we don't really see a face or eyes or mouth, so you don't have to worry about those. But I do want my jellyfish to have a friend. So I'm going to make a smaller jellyfish down here. And I don't have to worry about doing a perfect shape. Have some lines come out of the jellyfish. All right, let's think of one more animal that we can put under the sea. How about we do a turtle? So for a turtle, that's a lot of shapes that we already know how to make, so this one's going to be a fun one. I'm going to start by picking up a green. I'm going to start by making an oval that's sort of like a circle. So there's my shell, and I'm going to color my shell in green. Remember, you want this to look nice, so we're going to take our time. We're going to color in all the white. We're going to stay in the lines because we know people are going to be really proud of us if we do it well. So I've got my turtle shell, and we know that shells have a pattern on them too. So I'm going to take another color, so this is my darker green. I'm going to keep practicing my circle shapes. I'm going to make some circles all the way around. So I've got one in the center here. I'm going to color in 5 circles around it. So right now we have just a shell. And we know when turtles are scared, sometimes they hang out on their shell, but we don't want them to be scared. We want them to have fun with the rest of the sea animals. So we need to make sure that we can see the face, the legs, the tail, and the hands. I'm going to start by putting a head. So we do a circle. We're going to color it in. And just like we did with the fish, we're going to get our black. And we're going to put our eye with a circle and a smile. So he's swimming the same way the fish are swimming. Then we need a hand. So a hand isn't really like a circle. It's more like a cylinder or a line that's really thick. So I'm going to start by making some thicker lines that have a little curved edge for the feet and the hands. And then we also need a tail, which is like a skinny triangle. We're going to do a skinny triangle that comes out of the back. All right, so there's all of our animals. We've got our seaweed and we've got our waves. But why don't we pick up our blue again and add some more waves so people know that they're in the water, not just underneath it. So by adding some waves all throughout the drawing, it's going to look like that they're swimming through this moving water. And then you can also color in the water light blue too if you want. It's just going to take a long time. But remember, we want to get rid of all the white. We want to make sure it doesn't look like scribbles. So when we go to our show and tell, we can show how good we did. After that, we're going to ask someone to help us, and we're going to take a pencil or a pen, and we're going to write who made it. So we're going to put in the corner our name. I'm writing Mr. Wilson in the corner. And then it's also fun to title our work. So I think a good title for mine is going to be Fun Under the Sea. And you can choose what title you want to name yours, and you can share it with us. And then after this, I'm going to take a picture, and I'm going to send it to my art teacher so that they can see it. And then I'm going to hang it up, and I'm going to look forward to next week when we get to create another drawing together. So everyone, good luck. And if you have any questions, you can have your mom or dad write in, and we'll try to answer them for you, okay?